So I'm talking today about how my story is helping the world, okay? The incredible journey I've had, how it leads to the coaching, and we'll get to that. Really how you have to understand the psychology of today. So let's take a look on the other side, please. See, there's a lot of talk about chosen ones and the spiritual path and all this kind of thing. And what I want to get at is I want to share for people, take it to learn from someone who's walked the walk and also is offering coaching, training, and mediation for a select few. Okay? But, there's a lot of discussion out there. And I hear and see a lot of people on the internet, YouTube, other places giving advice about how to live. And you can make your own judgments of what you let in, what you don't let in, all this kind of thing. And the thing I want to do is, I don't know everything, but I know. Nobody has walked the walk with these things more than I have. So like if you were taking a safari, you'd want an experienced guide. But you can, if you're going through the Amazon jungle, you'd want someone who's a great tour guide, right? The Amazon forest. Rainforest. So it's all these kind of things where, what is it like to really walk the walk in a spiritual sense, to be, and when I say chosen ones, I'm not saying God selected only me, but there's a special calling to my life, and maybe some of you feel it. And let me talk about some of the parameters, what I think some of what's going on is, why some people are chosen more than others, or why some have a special journey in life. First of all, I think one thing, you got to understand the psychology of our times. And when I say the psychology of our times, you can look at issues like narcissism, psychopathy, but there is really, and it does get into the government of people, the United States and other places. And unfortunately, the United States has very lofty ideals. Liberty and justice for all, pursuit of happiness, all this kind of thing, which are wonderful things. And we know our own history has been very challenged. We had slavery and we had to struggle through our civil rights, and we're still fighting for equality in some ways, although we made a lot of progress. Martin Luther King has said so, and we've gone 50 years beyond that, but it's still, and it's always an ongoing effort for fairness. But the psychology, so we see in government in places that government itself can have I got into this I was raised with a civil rights background from my family, father, but I really got into this when I got into a divorce situation going on 29 years ago. And the whole element of the United States, our justice system, is so different from what the anticipation of fairness and equality, equity and legality and all these things are. It was like a rampant Dodgems, bumper car thing, like people coming every which way, and it could get vicious. And so what I discovered, and I took it on because I'm a good father, and I really believed in my children and believed in what I stood for, what I was fighting for. So I didn't let myself be intimidated by all of what was going on. And in fact, like when Elon Musk or others talk about our spiritual virus, I believe the place it's most out of control, our governance is most out of control, is in our legal system. Because, if we're not treating people equally and fairly, then we're not at all doing our job, and we're going to have many more cracks in society. So I got involved, in our legal system. I said, look, you're not going to rip me apart as it comes to my children. I'm going to stand in here. I'm standing for equality. I'm standing for fairness. And this whole journey, it kind of set forth, and little did I know that was kind of my calling in a way. Part of it because, I was born in Scranton, PA, and in a 4 square block area. I had 4 grandparents, grandmothers lived over 100 years old, and parents who raised me in a certain way, with a sense of equality. Not perfect, but, giving me a sense of fairness and equality deeply embedded in me. So part of it is that, and when I see the kind of, I call it a hole in the American psyche. I did a video, you might want to take a look, a song called The Hole in the American, We Must Repair the American Soul. Great singer Elaine Zhang composed, I wrote it, but she composed the song and sang it. But there's a hole in the American soul, or even in our psyche. And my work is about repairing it. And so going back 29 years, it's kind of mushroomed out and expanded greatly to, the whole goodness is strength and the training and coaching and mediation I do. But it's really grown that my life has taken on a special role. And I am equating that to people who kind of look at the spiritual path or look at personal growth and say, well, how do I do it? If you had to really trust the process, or everything happens for a reason, how would you do it? And look, I go out, look at some of these clips, I go out daily, not daily, but regularly to spread the word. Here's a little sense of that. Out spreading the word, see my neat little thing? It says every action has an equal and opposite reaction. Kind of the story of my life. Out of your greatest pain comes your greatest purpose. Turn challenge into opportunities. Learn the magic with us. Or every action has an equal and opposite reaction. Digging deep, to really finding your purpose, what's deep within you. And that's what my life's about. So what I'm saying is, I've walked the walk in a way like no one has. I don't believe the degree of challenge that's been presented in my life over the last 29 years could be equated to almost to anyone. And it's like the challenge of our times, what I'm getting at, why I reference narcissism, psychopathy. The challenge of our times is psychological, spiritually. There's a psychology that will beat people down. And when I say psychology, that's invisible. So a lot of people don't know what's happening. And so my work is not only to stand in there and take it on and fight for fairness. Fairness is what America needs across the board. It's also to create a better way, to shine the light for others and to create a better way. Why I want societal champion trainings with our coaching, mediation, and training. So you can take a look at our website, as always. Look at the website, get involved, look at new video. Find a way. I'm offering you the psychology that you need. It's a psychology. No one else has it, because nobody has had this 29-year experience of being so, I could say persecuted. People might scoff at that word, but so much pressure put on me in irrational opposition that came at me. Psychopathy and unfairness in our legal, in divorce and all that. But this whole perfect storm hit my life. And so the storm was here, and I had to stand in there and just kind of not only take it, but what happens when you stand in, or the pressure's so great, you grow and change a lot as a person, and also develop remedies for America. I say the goodness is strength is the psychology saving America, to help America and to get to a higher point. So, that's a bit about why I believe, I don't know everything, but I know my story can help America. And the parameters, where we have to end up is fairness. That's the element, just a very basic concept. That's what's missing in America now. And that's what my fight's about. Basic fairness. What I'm getting at, a lot of people want to cling to a political side or this identity or that, but those are divisive things on some level. If we begin from the premise that it's fairness, well, everybody has a place to begin with. Good people, which most of us are, have a place at the table, so we don't have to fight as much Democrat, Republican, or identity, or this, or, we begin from a premise that we're going to be fair. And that's the point I'm interjecting into American culture, that we must have fairness. I mean, that's what 29 years of an unfathomable spiritual journey has brought me. That's the point I'm bringing forward, fairness.